Is my assistant now.
I didn't, okay.
It's on video.
I think that's Victoria's Secret.
Never heard that before in my life.
Okay.
Never.
Okay, kids, what seems to be the problem?
I have a question.
Yeah.
If you kept the E and the G, with the A of the C,
Ooh.
and then for the next chord you move them all up a step, does that fix it?
That would be an augmented second? Yes?
I don't know.
Augmented second? It would be an augmented second.
Okay, well then could the F go down to D?
Huh?
Could the F go down to D on the bottom?
The E to D? That would be parallel octaves?
Where?
Where's the F?
There's no good.
Okay, here's the thing, kids and caboodles. If we're gonna do this, this needs to go to there. Doesn't it? Okay, let's start with that premise.
I did
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, so then what else needs to happen? Well, I'm gonna tell you. That's what needs to happen. Why? Because now, all right, this seems awkward now, doesn't it? Yes,
You
Jerry.
can't double that G.
Huh?
You can't double that G. You double.
Yes, technically I could, because I'd have parallel fourths in instead of parallel fifths. Okay, the question here is this equal to this?
Yeah.
I think it's not equal, but it's still correct. I think when you double, the thing is, it's going to sound exactly the same, but that's not what we care about. Sound, nothing. Okay, so if you had either of those stemmings going to this, you're good. But now, this seems funky. Yes? Funky. So that means we gotta change. What to? Anything?
E on top maybe?
Well, I think that's the only choice.
I think so too.
That makes it feel better. Okay. You know,
Soprano line now.
it is pretty much unsingable.
I thought we were doing keyboard style anyway.
We can dream.
Dream or dream?
Okay. I think, although, I don't know, I tell you what, I think this to this is good. I also think the original, this to this is good, and I also think either of these to this is also acceptable. All right? Now the reason, I don't know which I prefer. Actually, this probably better. There's less jumpities, and it's in. I don't know.
Would it help if you
I
just
don't That's the weak way out. I like it so far. Okay, I'm gonna play the heavier written one. Okay, now the original but now lighter one. Somehow couldn't find that last note. What a fingering. The claw plays the piano. Okay. All right. I think if you have this chord here, and it is resolved from here or here, and you have a dot on your half note, you can get 20 points for that dotted half note. Okay? Each of these chords, variously written, are worth 20 points apiece. I don't really give that much partial credit unless I don't remember why. I don't remember many things. So that. I've got something particularly exciting today. We are going to do something that is not Bach. Just a minute. Schumann. It was a dude. Actually, we heard a bunch of Schumann last night, didn't we? The Carnival. Anybody get to hear that? I got to hear mostly of it. Crowd pretty good. Dr. Dragaheshku seems to like him a lot. He is incredibly sweet person, isn't she? Okay, I'm passing back 6 Rockies, so you've got to go down to Jam Jam and T from there.
You said you got it.
Okay, this is from a collection of piano pieces by Robert Schumann. This one's written, I believe that says very small numbers. Wow. I really can't tell.
18, 30,
You think it's 35?
55, I'm not sure. Either 55 or 37. So under Walston?
It's 1835.
I think so.
Yeah, that would kind of make more sense. All right. This is a little waltz. And, you know, we talked a little bit about binary forms. This kind of isn't a binary form. This is truly more 3-part. The final section is not like A prime, it's actually A. Okay, so the first section and the last section repeat exactly. Now, we're going to listen to an actual person play this, and then we'll talk through some of it. Now, when you have this kind of like jump bass situation, you want to think of the chord mainly through the whole measure in the bass, because the pedal is applied, so you would hear that. Okay, so it's not exactly like measure 2. Well, never mind. We'll come along to that. All right, let me see if I can get the is queued up for us. Apparently not. Okay, we'll go the old-fashioned way. Anybody play this? Bailey, Rocky, y'all play this from memory?
Okay.
It's actually Schumann's wife who kind of started the whole memorize your piano music thing. Previous to that, pianists played their own music and they played other people's music. But if you're playing a Mozart sonata, it would have been thought to be sort of egotistical not to look at the music. But Clara Schumann changed all that. Her unmarried name was Beck. She was a prodigy. Had lots of children with Schumann, and possibly the last one with Brahms. Okay, so the question of the day is, can we, as a species, analyze the first two measures of this waltz? All right, here we go. Let me practice a second. Okay. All right. What key are we in? That's correct. We're in A minor, just like the key signature says. The third measure is, of course, A minor. We got that, right? So measure 3 is 1 chord. Measure 2, I think, is cadential 6/4 to 5, 7. Don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, first chord.
-5.
No. Just collect all the notes together and make a chord. With the appropriate bass note. Did you say German 6th?
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? We got an F, we got an A, we got a C, we got a D sharp, D sharp. Now, what is the distance between F and D sharp? Augmented 6. That's very good. And when we have a 3rd and a 5th above the bass note of an augmented 6 chord, it is in fact the German 6 chord. So good job, German 6 chord. Okay, what's a German 6 chord go to? Oh my goodness, cadential 6/4. Was Schumann able to do this? Yes, he was. So we get to the 1 chord. Now, we're moving on to measure 4. That's the measure that's after 3. rest of that. What do you think measure 4 would be? And use the base as a clue. 1/6. Now that leaves very kind of awkwardly the B natural there. What is the B natural? One 1/76. What are you going to call the B using a theory word? Mezzo. No. Another theory word. What's the most appropriate theory word for the B? What would it most fit? Retardations resolve upward and are prepared obliquely. I'm going to go no. Another choice?
Isn't it escape tone?
No. No. Not an escape tone. What would it most look like?
Measure 4.
Okay, I'm going to go with two things. Are you ready? Since there's a rest before it, the only previous note we have is an E, so kind of appoggiatural. But the main note before that is the A, right? So it's also kind of a accented upper neighbor kind of a thing. So thinking of it in non-harmonic tone ways, I think it is incomplete neighbor. I think that's the best use of that word. Okay? And we all hear it as non-harmonic. Oh, that's one of those. Okay, I think we can go with 5, 4, 3 there. Yes? And that measure. And the next measure, I'm going to say it. 1. Oh, here's another one. 5. Okay, now I'm really looking for something. Let's forzando first, though. Tell me all about that measure. A little drum and bass to help. Old school metal. Oops, missed a note. All kind of missed notes. Maybe E flat minor is not the key for Iron Man. Okay, tell me all about that measure. I'm not going to let it go. Tell me.
5, 7, 1, 6 to 5.
There's an E in the base, so I'm wondering about the whole 1/6 thing. 1/6/4. Okay, I'm good with that. So it goes 5, 7 through a 6/4 chord to 5. Is there other theory words that we use for things like that?
Passing over stationary base.
Passing over stationary bass is the words that we use for that. Bass, stationary. So kind of a half cadency thing there, isn't it? So let's look at the phrasing. So 3 measures. I don't know, a little awkward phrasing there, don't you think? Okay, let's move on. Does this sound familiar? The German six. Some other notes. Okay, here we go. Big stretch in the left hand. We were all waiting on that. That's right, that's left hand, kids. This was a 4-mallet piece. Okay, so it seems on line 2, we have the German 6 to 1, cadential 6/4 to 5 to 1, and then with the B flat and the D. What is that?
Chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry.
I can't believe you're not taking this seriously. Yes, it is the Neapolitan 6/4.
What is it? Chocolate strawberry.
It is the Neapolitan. Cadential 6/4. 5. Uh-oh. What's that? Deception. Now we're adding a note. That's interesting. That's still kind of cadential 6/4 there. So we go from deception, add the E to cadential 6/4, 507 to Uno. That's wrong, right? Sorry. My bad. Okay, I'm going to just to spur discussion on, not spurn discussion, but spur discussion. I will tell you, we have a phrase modulation. Okay? Is what we're modulating to a closely related key? Yes. It is. How do we know that? It's within one accidental from the original. What is the key? Again, you are correct. F major, which was the submedian from the previous encounter. Yes? Yes. Okay. So, let's hear this first phrase, and we're going to find it a little bit simplistic compared to what we had in the first part, but only for so long. Sorry. Wrong note. Let's do that again. 1. What is that? Now there's a couple things there. We have this. That seems like 4, but we also have the E. Now is the E something or is the E accident passing?
Accident passing.
Now, because the bass changes, it's no longer a 4 chord, it's now a 2 chord, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then we go right on to 5/7. Now, notice how these next 3 chords kind of imitate, but not exactly, the 3 chords of the first measure of the second line. Remember our passing over a stationary bass? Yes, we do. Of course we do. Now we have not a stationary bass, do we? Okay, what's the chord? It's a 5-4-3 chord, yes?
Yes.
Okay, great. What out? It's a 6-4 chord though, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. And the next chord, 5-6-5. So the 6-4 chord has effectively transitioned a 4-3 chord to a 6-5 chord, hasn't it? Is it a passing 6-4 chord? I'm going to say no. Let me tell you why. I think it's all 5-7 there, and that middle chord is two passing tones, and the B flat is still in the chord. So 5-4-3, F and D passing tones, just straight up passing tones. 5-6-5. Back to the 1 chord. Now, amazing things are about to happen with that simple progression, and we have the time to prove it. That's amazing. 1. Okay. We've outlined a 1 chord, yes? Moving on, we add the F to and figure out that chord. I think so. I think it is a 4-6 chord with a what?
Suspension.
What kind of suspension?
I don't know.
Well, the way we do that is we take the numbers from the bass and make things happen. So we have the D and we have the C. That makes 7. And then when that goes to B flat, that makes 6. And we call that a 7-6 suspension to a first inversion chord, right? Yeah. That's why it's 7-6. Sometimes that may be perceived as a different kind of chord, but not in this instance. Okay, 7-6 suspension over the 4-6 chord. Okay, think about this. 1 to 4 is a progression of down a fifth, right? Okay? Tell me, do, what is the next chord? And the next chord. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Line 4, is everybody with me? Line 4.
Yes.
Downbeat. Or that whole measure, actually. You can do it.
It's like a 7, yeah.
It is. It's a 7 chord. Next chord. Second measure of the 4th line. Don't make me slap you! Get your attention. Not in a punitive kind of way. Snap out of it! A what?
Yeah, 3 chord.
That's 3-6. Okay, now going back to this previous line, what are we going to call that F that just suddenly inserts itself? Don't say suspension, even though it sounds like 7-6 suspension. Why isn't it a suspension? Because it's not prepared. Okay? So what is it? It just appears, doesn't it? I think maybe it is, oh wait, the C is the suspension. What the heck are you talking about, Dave? My bad. Forget all that. The C is the suspended note. The next time this happens, down here, the B flat is the suspended note. It's also 7-6, right?
Yes.
So if we had something that did the same thing twice in a row, and possibly a third time in a row, what do you call that? That's right, exactly what you're thinking, if only you could remember the name of it. You want me to tell you the first letter?
Yes.
Yes.
Sequence.
Yes. It starts with S and rhymes with sequence. Sequence. Now let's move on. Next measure, D, F, and A, right? What chord is that? That's 6. And the next chord, insert the C sharp. Ooh, that is 2, isn't it? And then it goes to 5.
Yeah, the C sharp.
Yeah. B flat, D, G. G, B flat, D. Add the C sharp, you got another chord, but not exactly. Okay, what does that tell us about the beginning of the sequence? It went 1 to 4 to 7 to 3 to 6 to 2 to 5 to 4. What do we call that? Oh my goodness. Yes, you're right.
Descending fifth?
Yes, sequence of descending fifths. If I were to play this in the key of C, because that's easier for me, it would sound a little like this. Now, this sequence is a sequence of descending fifths modified by the first inversion goal of it, and with an added 7/6 suspension-like figure. Okay, so you expect in traditional sequences that the third iteration of them changes somewhat slightly to affect something else. And I think you see that in this here piece too. Okay, from the sequence. C. Now about the C sharp. What? This is going to sound so maudlin. Doesn't it sound maudlin? So it's really that insertion of the C sharp that changes our sequence to really just be different, to add a little bit more emotionality to this. And what does the C sharp make? The A is still non-harmonic, but the C sharp is harmonic to the A, but not really. So how are we going to justify that C sharp? What's we gonna call it today? Everywhere else that Schumann, the man, has inserted that note, it's been a chord tone. So might we think of it as a chord tone?
Sure.
So in what way is it a chord tone?
5, 7, and 6. Or
Okay, let's just think about the C sharp and the B flat. Okay? C sharp and the B flat. What kind of context would that have in the key of F?
It's like, it's a B flat minor.
Let's think about G minor. Okay, that is in fact kind of the chord we're trying to get to, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It is. So if we had a C sharp and a B flat, those things would expand outward to D or inward to D in an augmented 6 situation. If C sharp Yeah, let's give up on that whole train of thought for now. C sharp, E, G, B flat. You could make a chord out of that, right? Which we may have already. That does go to D, doesn't it? And that is the note that we get to from the C sharp. It's just not really quite the chord. So I guess it is still kind of an accented neighbor note. How does this accented neighbor note kind of differ for me is that I don't know. I think I've had enough. How about you guys? I suddenly was painting the floor and realized I started at the door. Now I'm in the corner. Have a great weekend. Homework's due on Monday. If you don't have a copy, grab it now. Going fast. Everything go okay after 11? Uh-oh. Did Jared let you down?